this topic might not be terribly technical, but it does deal with our technology, if that makes sense. So let's take a look at ramps. If you are having, to move to a place that is in need of ramps and you're stuck because you're concerned about funding for those ramps, as I've said before, there is funding for landlords, and they can look that up in their area to make modifications to a home so it's accessible to you. Then there's also programs that will help with a home to be accessible. So there is a program called www.ramps.org. Again, that is www.ramps.org, and I'll put these links down below. And they have per state programs that are available to install ramps. So if you have a ramp in your home that's in bad shape, if you're moving to a home but it needs a ramp from the outside and you're not sure how to tackle that, you can come to this website and see if you can find someone who can give you a hand, because lots of organizations out there will help, like Habitat for Humanity, and there is, Christopher Reeves Foundation. They also have United Way. So there's more than one organization that will give you a hand on in regards to ramps. Now, this is for very little funding or free. So that's why I'm putting it out there. There is another website, Worldwide Aging Related Programs, and this also gives programs for ramps. So I will also put that in the links down below, so you can take a look at that area or give the link to your landlord so they can dig some ideas up and schedule an organization that would be happy to come over and create this apartment or house into an accessible house, because there's so few that landlords sometimes think that it's going to reduce the value of the home, and that is so not true. We are consumers just like anyone else, and there's a lack of housing and lack of apartments that are accessible, that are made for us, especially for wheelchair users. So they are not committing any crimes against themselves or reducing the value of a home in any way, because any person with a wheelchair or walker will be happy to be able to move into a home or apartment that has been transformed and adapted for you. So there are a couple of different things that need ramps, obviously. So if you're thinking about fixing or adapting your home or moving to a home, or these are the critical things that need to be looked at. Front yard, of course, the main entrance, probably need a ramp, and if your health is shifting and there's a possibility of wheelchair in your near future, if the ramp that's already there is in bad shape and really needs to be replaced, if you have your eyes on a home that you'd really like to buy or rent and it just doesn't have a ramp, then there are organizations that'll come by and give you a hand. There is a for-profit, I think, organization also that will install ramps, and I'll find that and put that link down below if you don't want to use the other .org organizations that help putting in ramps. So it's the front entrance and back entrances that need ramps. Now, there's all kinds of styles of ramps. There's small ones, there's long ones, there's short ones, there's pretty ones. You get the idea. So you have to really think about what kind of ramp do you want. Is it wood? Is it metal? Depending on the weather, actually. But the weather here in the United States hasn't been very good, so you probably want a very sturdy ramp. But inside the home, you also might need ramps. If you have a den that's in a lower section, you might need a ramp for that, or an office that you have to step down or step up to. You might need a ramp there, or the kitchen. You know, there are areas in homes that they made them in different levels, and I don't know why they did that, but it could break a neck of anyone. So I lived in a home where we had a den, and it was a step down. It was a very small step. I have no idea why they did that in that particular part of the home. They just put a step down, and I can't tell you how many times I forgot. You know, this is when I could walk, that I would forget about that step down. I'd go flying. So, so it just depends on your funding and accessibility to be able to pay or need help in installing ramps. So there's external ramps and there's internal ramps that you might have to install in the home. So you really, when you're looking at a home or an apartment, look at those details. You know, if it's a step up into a bathroom or a step down into a kitchen or a step down to a den, you know, those little things, and those are smaller ramps that are much easier to install. So, you know, you got to consider all those kind of things. So sometimes even transitions, sometimes they put in brutal transitions. It's not even a step up or a step down. It's a transition between flooring and carpet that's really brutal. And so there's also ramps for that to cover those transitions, so you can go over them with much more ease. So consider that. And if the landlord is willing to remove those transitions and you know, figure out a way to make sure that the carpet and the flooring is joined well, you know, with appropriate glue rather than that transition, that would be great. I know those transitions help to keep the flooring and the edge of the flooring and the edge of the carpet protected. But in your case, if you're using a wheelchair, those drive me absolutely up a wall. They really do. We have 4 of them in the house. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, there's 4. They drive me absolutely up a wall because they're so big, so clunky that, you know, we've already had an accident in one of them. So they just have no reason to exist with the technology we have today. There's no reason for those big clunky transitions to exist between the transition of the flooring and the carpet. So anyway, you know what I mean. So I just wanted to put this video out, especially for Wheelchair Tech Friday, so that you have something to work on if you're a person who needs ramps and you're tearing your hair out trying to figure out how you're going to do that, or, you know, worried about the upcoming winter and how your particular ramp really needs to be replaced. I'm putting out some articles here and some websites that you can take a look at and schedule something. Call one of them, you know, ask them, tell them your problem, and see if you can schedule something. And the earlier you call, the better, because I'm sure they are full of projects and things that need to be repaired and built and done for many people, especially Habitat for Humanity. So the earlier you call, the better. So any questions, any comments, any suggestions that you might have in regards to ramps, feel free to post them, and that will help somebody else in terms of these struggles with making apartments and housing accessible for us to get in and out. So I will leave you with that thought. And if you know somebody perhaps that is struggling with ramp needs, then feel free to forward this video to them with the links in the description box, and hopefully that will pull them out of their stress. All right, take care, everyone, and be brave and good warriors. See you in the next one.